Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to be taking a close look at Target and some pretty significant changes they've made to their DEI strategy. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Yeah, Target has really been known for pushing inclusivity, but this is a pretty noticeable shift for them, especially when you think about what's happening with DEI efforts in other companies and the overall social and political climate.
For sure. So to really grasp what's going on, we need to lay out exactly what Target's doing.
Right, so we're talking about a multi-pronged pullback. They're ending their 3-year DEI goals.
Which were?
These goals were specific targets related to representation and inclusion within the company, but they're also halting reports to external diversity groups like those that track corporate diversity metrics, and they're discontinuing a program specifically aimed at increasing their offerings of products from Black-owned and minority-owned businesses. And this is a company that just a few years ago was very, very vocal, very public about their commitment to diversity and inclusion.
Yeah, it's definitely a big change from what we've seen from them.
Yeah.
And from what we're seeing across a number of other companies, too.
Exactly. It's not just Target. We've seen companies like Tractor Supply, Meta, Walmart, McDonald's. They've all taken steps to scale back their DEI commitments in one way or another.
So what's driving this trend?
Well, there's no single answer. It's complex. But some factors definitely seem to be playing a role. We're seeing increased pressure from conservative activists.
Right.
And then there's the impact of the Supreme Court's ruling on affirmative action. Even though it doesn't directly apply to corporations, it's created a kind of ripple effect. And then you have the legacy of President Trump's executive orders back in 2017 that were aimed at dismantling government DEI programs.
Okay, so there's a lot going on politically and legally, but it's not like every company is running away from DEI.
Absolutely. You've got companies like Costco where shareholders actually voted overwhelmingly against reviewing the risks of their DEI programs.
Which is really interesting when you compare it with what Target's doing. But to understand this shift even better, we need some context on Target's past actions.
Definitely. Let's go back to 2020. Remember the murder of George Floyd? It happened very close to Target's headquarters.
Yeah.
CEO Brian Cornell at the time, he was deeply affected. He even said, quote, "That could have been one of my Target team members."
And after that, Target made some very specific pledges.
They did. They pledged to increase Black representation at all levels of their workforce.
Not just entry-level positions.
Right. And they wanted to support Black entrepreneurs and spend more with Black-owned businesses.
Didn't they commit over $2 billion to Black-owned businesses by 2025?
They did. It really seemed like a potential turning point in the corporate world.
And now we're seeing this. So what happened? Why this shift?
Well, as I said before, it's complex. It's not one thing. The social and political climate has definitely evolved since 2020. There's been a noticeable shift. And we can't ignore the pressure that Target may be feeling from certain stakeholder groups.
Shareholders, investors, maybe?
Possibly. It's also important to consider the business side of things. Maybe this is a strategic decision, a way to streamline operations or respond to changes in consumer preferences.
Yeah, we can't forget about that.
Right.
And remember a couple of years ago, Target got a lot of backlash for their Pride Month collection.
You're talking about the tuck-friendly swimsuits.
Yeah, those. It actually did have a noticeable impact on their sales.
Yeah, that situation really highlighted the tightrope that companies walk trying to balance social responsibility with business success and, avoiding controversy. It might be that Target's trying to avoid similar situations in the future by scaling back on some of these more visible DEI initiatives. But that doesn't mean they're abandoning DEI completely. It's more nuanced than that.
Right.
For example, when you look at Target's own diversity data, it's true their workforce overall has become more diverse.
Yep.
But when you look at their leadership teams, 72% of them are white.
So the diversity hasn't quite reached the top, which makes you wonder, what does this shift really mean for Target's overall commitment to DEI? I mean, is this truly a change in priorities, or is it more like a repositioning?
It's hard to say for sure. Time will tell how this plays out, but given what Target has said and done in the past and what we're seeing with DEI efforts across other companies, I think this is a decision that deserves some serious attention.
Definitely. And it raises some important questions too. What about the impact this is going to have on Target's employees, on their customers? Will it affect morale? Will shoppers react? I mean, these are things that Target has to consider.
Absolutely. And it's not just about Target. This could have ripple effects throughout the corporate world. Other companies are watching. This could influence how they approach DEI and even shape the broader conversation about what corporate social responsibility really means.
It's complicated. I mean, here you have Target, a company that's been a real champion of DEI, and now they're pulling back. And the reasons for that are complicated. The implications are broad, and the outcome is still uncertain.
It really is a complicated picture, and Target's just one piece of it, right? We're seeing other companies making similar moves, like we've talked about, and then there are those that are doubling down on DEI. It's a very fluid situation.
It is, and it'll be really interesting to see how this all plays out, in the coming months and years.
Definitely. And one thing that's for sure is that Target's decision has really sparked a lot of conversation.
Absolutely.
And hopefully that conversation will lead to a deeper understanding of DEI, the complexities of it, the challenges corporations face, and what the potential solutions might be that actually benefit everybody involved. It's not just about what companies do, it's also about how they do it.
I think that's a really important point.
Transparency, authenticity, genuine commitment, those things are crucial.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we also have to acknowledge the role that consumers play in all of this.
Oh, absolutely. Consumers have a huge impact.
Our choices, the things we buy, the companies we support, and our voices, speaking up when we see something that's not right, those things had a real impact on how companies approach DEI.
Yeah, they really do. Consumers have a lot of power. They can choose to support companies that align with their values, and they can hold companies accountable for their actions.
Exactly. So as we kind of wrap up this exploration of Target's shift in DEI strategy, I think it's important to take a step back and think about this. How can we as individuals contribute to a more inclusive and equitable world? What steps can we take in our own lives, in our communities, in our workplaces to actually make a difference?
That is the question, isn't it? It's a question worth really thinking about because even small actions, they can have a ripple effect. By being mindful of our own choices, by speaking up when we see injustice, by advocating for positive change, we all play a part in creating a more just and equitable society.
And it starts with recognizing that we all have a role to play in creating a more inclusive and equitable world.
Absolutely. And recognizing that this isn't just a problem for corporations to solve.
Right. It's a societal issue. It requires a collective effort from all of us.
Well said. This whole exploration of Target's shift in DEI strategy has been really insightful. It's clear that things are changing when it comes to corporate DEI, and there are a lot of factors at play.
A lot of complex factors. And Target's decision is just one example of that. It raises some important questions about corporate social responsibility, about the role consumers play, and what the future holds for DEI initiatives as a whole.
And it's a story that's still unfolding, right? I mean, who knows what the future holds for Target or any of these other companies trying to navigate this really complex landscape.
Yeah, but one thing's for sure, the conversation about DEI isn't going away.
And that's a good thing. It's important that we keep talking, keep learning, and keep striving for a more inclusive and equitable world.
I agree. Because ultimately what we're talking about is creating a society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive regardless of their background. That's what it's all about. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Target's DEI shift. We hope you found it informative and thought-provoking.
We did. And we encourage you to continue the conversation, share your thoughts, engage with others, and let's all work together to build a better future for everyone.
Thanks for listening.